Time for a video. It's the middle of a day. I've got some natural light as well as artificial light. For this particular video, well, I'm going to be napping floor tile. Let's see. It is just regular floor tile I bought from Home Depot. This is what it says on it. Which is probably Italian for fine gray porcelain. Okay. It's not expensive. So I already broke some pieces off, and I already napped an arrowhead off camera using it. Okay. I got some sunlight creeping in. Of course, it's right there with my video. Anyway, I've napped it before, so I'm pretty familiar with it. I've napped quite a bit, actually. But some people would say, I don't like the color. It's too bland, too blah. Well, I went ahead and I painted the other side. Now, if I can get it to... Let me see. Let me get rid of the sun. Okay, hold on. Did I do it? Okay. So yeah, I painted it with Barn Red acrylic paint. Right, these are only like 75 cents or less, right? These little bottles of paint. So, I mean, you can paint it any color you want. I put 2 coats on here, plus I put a coat of clear gloss, but I didn't like it. You can still see some of the clear gloss. Anyway, okay, let me close the door. It's super hot in here with the door closed, but the sun is just in exact position to come in through the cracks of the door. All right, so yeah, you can paint it black. You can paint it any color you want. You can do little streaks of like white to make it look like there's thunderbolts through it. I'll be exploring this option of painting these arrowheads. All right. So there you go. On to the napping. These are small. Someone asked me to do small pieces, okay? That's why I'm doing the small ones. No one asked me to do a big one. 2 3/8. By a little bit over an inch. I've got to fix that sunlight coming in. Hold on. It was completely overcast like 3 minutes ago, and now the sun started peeking out exactly when I started up the video. Hold on. The sun is right on my face from the other window. I got 2 windows in here. Okay, I gotta cover it with something. So it doesn't drive me nuts. Okay, there, much better. Of course it would start with the sunlight right as I started filming. Yeah, in case you're wondering that, I slit my hand open a couple days ago doing the spalling. Yeah, and it's in a bummer spot because that's where I put my hand right inside my knee to add some force to pressure flaking, so it's bugging me. Okay, so what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna do all or mostly indirect percussion. No, I don't need this glove. Yeah, I'm gonna do mostly indirect percussion on this piece, mostly, and then finish up with pressure. Okay. Now, you want to look at the other one again? It's going to be smaller than this one that I made previously, just a little while ago. Okay. And you can see it's flaked on both sides. Now, how do I rate these floor tiles? They're not all the same. But if you get the high-grade porcelain ones, it has to say porcelain. It can't say ceramic, or it can't be just a ceramic. It has to be porcelain. I would rate them as mid-grade knapping material. It's right in the middle of good and bad. So if you want to know what the mid-grade is of knapping materials, in my opinion, just go down and get some floor tile and start knapping it. And that's the mid-grade. If your stone doesn't knap as easily as this, it's a poor grade stone. Yeah. And you might go, oh wow, I didn't even know that my stone was bad. The floor tile naps better than my stone. That means my stone is bad. Yes, that's what it means. If the floor tile is napping better than your stone that you get your hands on, your stone is bad. Yeah. Now, can you nap bad stone? Quote unquote bad stone? Yes. Are you going to like it? Some people do. Is it going to be good for beginners? Some beginners love to be tortured to death, and they like to go to sleep exhausted and frustrated. But for most of us, we don't like that condition. So no, it's not good for beginners. The bad stone. Now, floor tile, is it good for beginners? Well, I wouldn't say good because it's mid-grade stone. It's mid-grade knapping material. I mean, you want to get some higher grade than this when you first start. It's difficult because compared to the price of floor tile, the stuff that is good for beginners is highly expensive, right? So beginners usually don't want to shell out, $500 in the first month for stone. No. Not like me. I was spending hundreds of dollars. I think the most I spent one month was like $400 on stone and antler and various knapping materials, like bottles. I didn't know of any sources that would give me free bottles, so I went out and just bought the full bottles of wine, the full bottles of beer, and then just dumped them out and napped the bottoms. I didn't have time to go looking around in the trash either. So yeah, I spent a bunch of money in the beginning. And I didn't really have to because I could have used floor tile. I could have skipped all that nonsense and just bought a bunch of floor tile. Eventually I got wise to the idea of floor tile, and I found the idea in a forum, a Flintknapping forum. A guy was pressure flaking these slabs that he would cut on his tile cutter. He was pressure flaking them like the flake over grind guys were knapping slabs. And I'm going, what is that? What's that material? He says, just go down to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever hardware store that you got that's not lame, and get some floor tile. And it has to be porcelain, high grade porcelain. And sometimes you can't read it because it's in another language. So you got to figure it out. Okay. I'll go and try to figure it out. Sure enough, I bought like, I don't know, $20 of various samples. You go down there and you say, I want a sample of that, I want a sample of that, I want a sample of that. And the first guy you talk to is going to go, what? Okay. If you get a what in the beginning, immediately ask for a supervisor. Immediately. Don't be trying to explain to the guy who says, what? No. So can I talk to the guy, a supervisor or somebody like that? Yeah, okay. You might have to wait 15, 20 minutes for him to come around, but you don't want to explain to anybody what you're looking for. If you need a sample, and if they don't know what that means, get a supervisor. Anyway, once you get the supervisor, you say, I want to buy that and that and that in a sample, not the whole case of floor tile. I want a sample of each one. And go, okay, we'll just write down the SKU number, and I'll go up to the register with you, and then we'll get it to where you're only paying it for one piece at a time. That's how you buy this stuff. Now, if you want to buy a whole case of it, like 12 pieces or whatever, knock yourself out. But not when you want to sample, because not all the floor tile is created equal. Now, you can also buy little trim pieces that go up against the wall. There's you lay the floor tile, but there's also trim pieces that go up against the wall that are made of the same material as a floor tile. You don't want to get wall tile because it's too lightweight. You want to get floor tile. You want to get the heavy stuff. So yeah, you can buy those individually. I think they might be individually available. Those small pieces for the trim that goes on the wall right down next to the floor. But I like buying these big pieces because it gives me the option of having a thick, what is it? What is the thickness? A thick thing to work with. The thicker this is, the better. This is going to be like 9mm or 3/8. Okay? You want it this thick. You don't want it real thin stuff. That's another thing. Even if you're going to have an almond during the process, like right now, that's okay. It will thin down. All right? You can get it to thin down, but you're going to need some indirect percussion. If you're not used to using indirect percussion, you're going to be lost. You're going to go, well, I don't want you to do it your way. I want you to do it my way that I can't do it. I'm not going to do it your way that you can't do it. Because you know what? It can't be done that way. Believe it or not, that's why you're having trouble. You mean you're not going to do it the way that I can't do it? That's right. I'm not going to do it the way that you can't do it. Unless you can't do indirect percussion, then yes, I'm going to do it the way you can't do it. But it's not going to be, I'm not going to be suffering with pressure like you're suffering with, or with direct percussion. You may be suffering with direct percussion on this stuff. And of course, it's way too small to be hitting with a bopper when it's this size. Yeah. So of course you're not going to be able to do it. And I don't want to mess with it either with a bopper when it's this small. Nope. Now, am I going to be able to get this thin down? That's a good question. I might not be able to do this one. I think I started this off in a way that I thought I was going to be able to thin it. Hold on. I might be able to do it. How did I do the other one? I started out with a bigger chunk, so I was able to thin it easier. This one got real narrow, real thick, real fast. Yeah. When it's that narrow and that thick, it's not that easy to thin down. It takes a lot of force, and which is okay because this can handle a lot of force. Yeah. It's floor tile. It's supposed to be tough. And if you buy the high quality stuff, it is tough. Okay? Okay. So now you know. Hopefully. You know what to buy and how to buy it. You're going to have to talk to a supervisor. Unless the guy that helps you knows what he's doing, which is like 1 out of 100. The first guy that helps you, if he knows what he's doing, it's like 1 out of 100. I've gone to so many different hardware stores. That it's unreal. So, and then most of the time I don't get anyone that knows what they're talking about. Well, I love going to hardware stores. I just don't like being helped. Because they don't know. They don't know nothing. I had to explain my whole life story to get them to understand. Yeah. know what? I might not be able to get this one thinned down because it's already too narrow. But it might make a good video because someone will say, well, that's where I'm at. I'm stuck, so you need to show how to unstuck yourself. Okay, fine. If I start with a larger piece, I can creep in on it easier and make it thinner. Easier than what I'm trying to do here. I need to get really close to that lump in the middle to get it thinned down. So I'm going to have to make it quite narrow. So it's already going to be a lot smaller than this one. It's not fair to show it in the red because that's not the original color. Someone zooming in or someone advancing the video to the part where I'm napping will go, wait a second, where's the red? Where'd you buy your red tile? I don't see no red tile. It's not red tile. I painted it red. Okay, there is red tile though, so don't get confused. There is red tile. I don't like the red tile, the one that's actually red. I like this stuff, the lighter color, because it usually is better quality. That red tile stuff is not that great, in my opinion. In my experience, it's not that great. It's like a ceramic rather than a porcelain. Ceramic is fired to a lower temperature, I believe, so it's not going to be as good. And the quality of the material itself that's used in the mix that gets fired is not as good with the red stuff, in my experience. Now, you might have a hardware store that carries a tile that is red that is better than anybody else's tile in the world, okay? I'm not talking to you. You're the exception. You might go, I got red tile from the hardware store, and my red tile naps like butter. Okay, fine. Yours does, but I've never seen it. Okay? All the red tile I've tried to nap is a crapiola pudding. Yeah. There is such a thing. It is crapiola. I'm going to switch to steel because steel gives me a little bit better concentration of force. Okay? There it is. What is this? It's a 1/4-inch steel rod from the hardware store. Is it the same hardware store you buy the tile from? Yeah, it's the same hardware store that I buy the tile from. If it's not lame. If you have a lame hardware store, they're going to have one or the other or neither. Yeah. You're not going to be able to get it. Just go to a different hardware store instead of thinking that I'm lying to you. There are hardware stores that are not lame. You might not have one within 200 miles. You're just going to have to drive to one that's good. All right? All right. Have I done it before? Or how do I know? How do I know you might have to drive 200 miles to get to a hardware store that's good? I don't know. It's not like I've never done it. What's the farthest I've driven looking for materials? That's a good question. I've driven many, many miles looking for materials. Not only at the hardware stores, but, you know, stones. Farthest I've driven looking for stones, just only looking for stones, I think it was 4.5 hours each way. So, 9 hours total. Make it a day trip. I don't think I've gone more than that. out on a day trip. I've traveled further than that, but I collected stones incidentally in those cases. Just looking around, and a lot of times when I look around, I looked at landscape supply yards that have big piles of rocks. And so, some of those trips were like, 16 hours. Yeah, everyone thinks I'm nuts. Why would you travel that far looking for rocks? Oh, you don't know. Once you get addicted to this stuff, you don't know what we go through. Nope. There's so much of a drive to get good at this. It doesn't seem possible to not get good at it. So we just you get all frustrated and say, it's impossible that I can't get good at this. So I'm going to use all of my energy, all of my force possible to drive myself to a place to get rocks. Yeah, I drove myself to drive to get more rocks. It's funny how the English language is. Was it successful? Heck no. I get better rocks from friends of mine that already have it, or they've picked them up along the way. Yeah, or off of private property somewhere. Yeah, I get most of my good stuff from friends, although I have been buying some. Buying some saves a lot of time. Yes, it does. Especially if you're dealing with a good rock seller. And I have a list of rock sellers in the comments section. Okay, so I will share that information because it's vital. Yes, it is. Now, I usually don't share a rock seller's information unless I've purchased or dealt with them before. Unless I know who they are, or I've purchased from them before, or someone has sent me material that they've purchased from them, etc., etc. I don't blindly recommend somebody. Yeah. Okay, so I still got a lump there, right? It's bugging me. How do I get rid of that? Well, it's just going to be a matter of luck to get rid of that. Yeah. If I'm able to. I can pick at it with a pressure flaker, but I'd rather just knock it down. Come on. Well, there you go. That solves that problem. Let's do it better next time. Okay, let's make some noise. Let's do it better on this one. I showed you how not to do it, right? Yeah, let's do it better on this one. I'm going to pay attention better. It'll be more better this time. What did I do wrong? What I did wrong was I took off the square edge and I wasn't concerned about thinning. But this time I'm going to do both. I'm going to thin it and take off the square edge. It's so much easier to thin when it's a little bit wider. Yeah. Now, it's more important to get this side cleaned off first rather than this side. Yeah, so there is a difference in the sides. This side up here is a higher grade than this side. Okay? So, if you're going to remove any side, preferentially, remove this first. Okay? Okay. If you don't know what preferentially means, you can look it up. Yeah. There we go. See, I'm supposed to be doing that stuff while I'm trying to get rid of the square edge, because it's much easier to thin it at this stage. Because I can hold it. It's not going to go like this. It's not going to be wobbly as much. Hopefully I'll be able to do it and not eat my words. It's already 25 minutes. Yeah, but I'm not going to edit out my mistakes. No. Breaking it is a mistake. I'm not going to edit that out. It goes straight to, making a good one. I'll leave it in. All right, so while it's still large and I can hold on to it, I need to thin it. That's what I did not do last time. Now, I might have been able to thin it down. The other one might have ended up okay. But I'm kind of glad that it didn't. It was starting to get on my nerves anyway. And guess what? There's plenty of floor tile. I don't care about messing up. There's a couple of advantages actually to floor tile. And yeah, you can have both of those words in the same sentence. Advantage and floor tile. Yeah. What are the advantages of floor tile? One is it's consistent. There's no stupid spots in it. It's all consistent. I mean, it might not be high grade, but at least it's going to be the same grade all the way through, which is extremely useful, especially when you're learning a new technique. Is it working? Or is it you? If it's not working, what is it? Is it the stone or is it you? Well, when you have a consistent material like this and it's not working, it's probably you. Yeah. So that's useful. That's helpful. You say to yourself, okay, well, I got to switch something about the way I'm doing it. Because if it's not the tile, then it's me. Yeah. The inconsistencies in stone can mess you up and you won't know if it's you or not. You'll be frustrating. You'll be scratching your head. You'll be trying to do the same thing over and over again and trying to get different results and not getting any different results. When it's natural stone. When it's floor tile, at least you know that it's consistent all the way through. So one hit that is the same as before is going to be, one attempt to remove a flake that is the same as before is going to yield the same results. Basically, there'll be slight variations in nuances, but for the most part, if you do the same thing to begin with, the same initial conditions, the results will be the same. Yeah, because it's consistent stone or consistent material. Is floor tile like any other stone? Is there stone that's like floor tile? Yeah, but it's very rare. Because what floor tile feels like is nappable cortex. That's what floor tile feels like. It feels like a cortex on a stone that can be napped. Is there such a thing? Oh, yes. Have you ever encountered it? I don't know. Where do you encounter it? You'll know when you see it. Yeah. It's not that common to be able to nap the cortex on the rocks that you find, but it is possible. I've seen some of the root beers with thick cortex that the cortex is actually able to be napped. It's not that great, just like floor tile is not that great, but it can be napped. So you see what I mean by thinning it when it's still large, right? Compared to The breakage. See how thick that is? It's a big difference in trying to thin it when it's small, because you can't really hold on to it very well. It gets very wobbly. And you won't see it, but when you strike it, it's wobbly when it's narrow and small like this. So I would advise not to knap those. You know, get it down to this size. What's this size? A lot of you are going to ask. This is like 48 millimeter or inch and 7/8 long. And this is a little over an inch, or it's like 26 millimeter. Can you hunt with it? Is the next question. Can you hunt with it? I mean, can it get something? Yes, it can get something. Really? And this time, yes, really. Actually, yes, it can be used for hunting. However, the edges will dull very fast. Oh yeah, I didn't go into what other advantages there are to floor tile. I said it was consistent. What are the other advantages? Plural, because I said it was advantages. Well, cheap. Being cheap is an advantage. Cheap and easy to cut. If you have a tile cutter, or if you can borrow one from somebody, or if your hardware store is not lame, you might be able to get them to cut it. Say, yeah, I just need to cut it like in 8 pieces. Can you do it? Well, we're kind of busy right now, sir. It's okay. I'll wait. Can you do it if I wait? Yeah. Awesome. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm working on a mosaic. Oh, okay. Don't tell them you're Flintknapping, because they're going to go, what? I need it for the mosaic. Okay. They understand mosaic. If you say that you're going to Flintknap it, they don't understand it. Yeah, but isn't it lying? You're lying. You're not honest. No, I'm not honest. I would lie just to get past that particular conversation. I don't want to have that conversation. No. Have I told people that I use it for Flintknapping? Yes, but only if I've been to that hardware store a bunch of times and I know the guy by name. Yes, Jeff, I'm using this for Flintknapping. You mean the stuff that you normally, the Flintknapping stuff? What about stones? You're not using those no more? Yeah, I am, but I'm going to do Flintknapping video and get some floor tile. And he would say, I didn't know you can use floor tile for that. Oh, yes. What else can you use? Well, I don't want to get into it. I'm kind of in a hurry. Oh, okay, fine. So, if you don't want to be there all day explaining yourself, just say it's for a mosaic. Yeah. Okay. And if they go, what? On a mosaic, you know that they're brand new to the world. They need to get out more. If they're working at a hardware store and they don't know what a mosaic is, they got problems. Yeah. Sorry to say. They need to get out more. You watch some YouTube videos. Okay. Now, let's see. What am I doing? I'm trying to get rid of that last bit of cortex. It's not cortex. It sure looks like cortex. Do I sometimes leave it on there? Yes, I do. That's why I bought it with a white surface. Because sometimes I can't get to it, but if I leave it on there, it just looks like cortex, like a real stone cortex. Yeah, I'm giving you all my secrets. You should be very happy. Not happy? You're not happy because it's taking already 34 minutes. Yeah. And you're watching that work, and you wish it could be like 3.4 minutes instead. Because you're going to get caught watching videos at work. Actually, today's Saturday, so hopefully you're not working. I hope it'll be Saturday when I upload this. People will think, oh, kid doesn't even know what day it is. How can he be teaching us anything? Hopefully it'll still be Saturday by the time this uploads. If not, I apologize. I apologize for our lame internet. Yeah. I can't get away from the lame internet. Unless I go to the library. As everybody knows already. And no, I haven't asked them how they get such fast speed. Somebody already told me. Oh yeah, they probably have a satellite link. Where is my good spatula tool? Okay. There it is. And yeah, you can pick off these little step fractures. Just knap it like it's regular stone. Yeah. And it'll be good. Yeah. So yeah, I left a little bit of cortex on there. And yes, floor tile has cortex. We're just going to pretend that it does. You can pretend, right? It's not like lying. Pretending is not exactly like lying, but it's close. Yeah. You'll have that little sneaky feeling and make you giggle. Yeah. It's always good to giggle during Flintknapping. You didn't know? Giggling improves your Flintknapping. In case you didn't know. Now, if you think that giggling is somehow a sign of weakness or something like that, Flintknappers are not supposed to show signs of weakness. Yeah. Then don't giggle. And don't watch the video. Go somewhere else where they're all serious. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I don't care. All right, so how does this pressure flake compare to stone? Well, compared to that the Danish flint, this stuff is really bad. The floor tile, but it still it mimics stone pretty well. I do say. I don't know. I don't know how to talk sometimes. But yeah, I would say, there it is. I would say that floor tile mimics stone pretty well. Yep. And you can make a convincing arrowhead if you want to convince yourself. It might not fool everybody. But yeah, you could make a reproduction of a real artifact by using floor tile for the arrowhead. And it's pretty convincing. Especially if you paint the floor tile a convincing color. So it's not just this blah looking gray stuff. Although a lot of artifacts are blah looking gray, but they might not be this consistent. You know what I mean? The color, this color is very consistent. There's no variation. Now, some floor tile has speckles in it, which is really cool. If you can find the high-grade porcelain with speckles in it, buy it. It doesn't matter if it's $5 a square foot or even $10 a square foot. You know, that's making a lot of arrowheads with this. If it's $10, I don't think it's ever going to be that expensive. But if it is, you're still going to be able to make a ton of arrowheads, especially if you cut it, you get somebody to cut it for you into little bitty triangles. 3" by, I recommend 3" by 2". Something similar to that. And go to town. And they'll make some pretty arrowheads. Believe it or not, you can use floor tile and pretty, those two words in the same sentence. Look around and become a floor tile connoisseur. That way you can share your knowledge. Yep. Now, in Europe and places like that, overseas, they have floor tile available for those who are living in a rock desert where there's no rocks. And I've told people in Italy and places like that, yeah, you just go get some floor tile. And they go, what? Yeah. Just go to your neighborhood hardware store or wherever they sell floor tile and look and get some samples and try them out and see if it works. They go, I did not know. I live right next to a place that sells all kinds of stuff for home renovation. I didn't even know. And there's a big pile of floor tiles that they threw away out in the back, and I can get it for free. Yeah. Some people have that eureka moment, and they go, dang it. All my frustration for the past 2 years has gone for nothing. Yeah, it's funny when you hear when people suffer. It's a good laugh. We can all laugh together. Hopefully I'm not hurting anybody's feelings. I'll tell you a secret. I don't really care. If it hurts your feelings, I do sympathize, but if I really cared, I wouldn't have brought it up. Yeah. Okay, ready? Let's see if I can thin down that base without snapping it in half. Or without causing a massive step fracture. And someone's automatically going to say, can you flute it? It looks like you might be able to flute it and make a Clovis. Clovis? Floor tile Clovis? Can you do it? They start straining and they get all, can you do a Clovis with floor tile? I don't know. A tiny one, maybe. I would not recommend it because it does snap in half. So that answers that question. I don't want to discuss it. Yeah, I don't want to discuss it. If you want to try it, you try it. Okay? Have I tried it? I'm thinking. I don't remember trying it, but I might be wrong. Let me hold on. I'm thinking. At the same time, I'm trying not to mess up. Have I tried a flute on this stuff? I don't think I have. I don't think so. But I have done thinning flakes from the base. See that? I have done that many times. Yeah. So what is the ratio? I'm curious. We're looking at 24 millimeter. Yeah. By four. 6 to 1. I can get a 6 to 1. Is he sure? Am I sure? It's just probably too generous. I would say it's closer to 5 to 1. But it's reasonable. It's within the range of artifacts. 5 to 1 or 6 to 1 is within the range of artifacts. Yeah. So you can get it thinned down. And if you want to try Clovis, with the floor tile, by all means do it. And you don't even need to flute it. Didn't you know that not all Clovises are fluted? You did not know that? You need to get one of those supervisors. You're like the guy at the hardware store that don't know nothing. Yeah. There it is. So I can use this right now as a hunting point. Just a little bit of sharpening. Yeah. Watch. I'll make a hunting point. It's going to take me 5 more minutes. Or something like that. Just by sharpening the edge. Are you watching? Is it watchable? Can you see? Is my new camera phone working? Yes. I should have done something first. Hold on. Yes, you can file this with the needle file with a diamond grit. That's what I recommend using. Needle file with diamond grit. Don't get those needle files for wood that just have those metal ridges. Get the diamond grit. Some of you out there going, oh, nuts, what's wrong with my files? Can we make fun of you? Please allow us to make fun of you if that's what you did. You might say, well, dang it, I thought they were just getting dull real fast. Who knows? I don't know. I'm guessing that maybe somebody did that. This is a sharper one. Sharper, it needs to be replaced. But the sharper ones work well also on the floor tile. And you're going to need it. You're going to need different bits for your tools. Yep. Floor tile does eat the tool. It does wear down the tool. It eats it up for lunch, so to speak. So there is that. One of the advantages of floor tile is that you'll not have to maintain your tools as often as working really tough stone. That's another advantage. It's not really that bad on your tools. But you will have to maintain their tools, yeah. Okay. So it pressure flakes pretty well, I must say. And the fact that it's not full of inclusions or weird spots or strange planes of fracture like the quartz crystal. This is a lot easier than the quartz crystal. All that makes it nicer than a lot of rocks that are natural rocks out there. I'm going to thin it down a little bit more. Still too chunky for me, although I don't think I'm going to thin it down all that much. Not on video. This is how thin I can get it off camera. See how thick it is still? The video point is still kind of thick. And I said I was going to make a hunting point in 5 minutes. Oh, hold on. I'm not going to be able to do it. I want to thin it down a little bit more. But yeah, if I just sharpen the edge like that, all you need to do is run a pass in one direction. You don't need to do passes in both directions. You just sharpen it that way. With one pass in one direction, you might have little dull spots, but if you're in a hurry, or if you're making one out in the field just expediently, right? You broke your other ones because you were happy you were going to use your fancy stone arrowheads and they all broke their tips off because you were too excited. You just need to make a fast one. You just nap in one direction, whether it's stone, glass, or floor tile or whatever. You just nap in one direction, just like beveling, and that's it. You're good on that side. Flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. But right now I'm going to make it hopefully a little bit thinner. Okay. Okay, it's working. I don't want to push my luck. I do have mistakes on it. You know, it's not perfectly clear, but I'm going to go with it. I'm not going to be too persnickety with it on video. Yeah. Just know that the potential is there for making it thinner, because you saw it in the other one. I can make it thinner off camera a lot easier. Why is it easier off camera? It's hard for me to do two things at once. It's taking me a long time to get good at doing this on video. I'm still trying to improve the video quality, so still got some ways to go. I don't know, that's okay. It's not perfect. I need to notch it before it gets too late. I want to upload this video. I want to have it upload today. Let's see, it takes 9 hours. It might not upload today. We'll see. The library's closed. We shall see. Actually, I uploaded a video last night. Well, it's overnight, yeah, so never mind. It uploads a little bit faster overnight, especially during the hours of 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. The previous video was uploaded overnight. This one I'm going to upload it during the high traffic time. Yeah, everyone's on the internet right now. Up all the way to 4 in the morning, and then it starts to die off. And then they start up again around 6:30. How do I know this? I don't know. It's not like I wake up every night at odd hours of the night. That never happens. Nope. Yeah, I'm not a very good liar. Okay. So what am I going to do? Side notching or corner notching? Or it couldn't be a hunting point just like this. Legal in most states, as long as it's 7/8 inches wide, and it is. You know, legal in most states. That's all you need for hunting. And yeah, I would hunt with it if I didn't have anything else. Piece of cake. I mean, yeah, I have no problems hunting with this. No problems of conscience. It will cut. It will do damage. Okay. It does at least as much damage as a bone point. At least. How do I know? I don't know for sure, but I have made bone points and tested them on cardboard, and I do layered cardboard for penetration tests, compare it to a steel broadhead, and it penetrates the same as a steel broadhead in most cases. Now, in some cases, I don't know what it is, but maybe the roughness of the stone, it's not going to work as well as a steel broadhead. But I've found that in most cases, they work pretty good. I'll do tests with steel broadheads coming up this summer, hopefully. I've got a place I'm trying to set up for my target so the neighbors don't freak out. I got a hill in the backyard that I can put the target up against, and hopefully no one will freak out when I start shooting. Yeah. Side notches. I'm doing side notches. Now, this stuff does notch pretty easily, which is good. I was surprised as I was notching the other one. I did not remember that this was easier to notch than most stone. Yeah, believe it or not. But it also does stall out, so be careful. Just because it's a little bit easier to notch than most stone does not mean that it won't stall on you. It does stall if you're not careful. But yeah, I can push off a flake on a thick area without much trouble. And yeah, we could put serrations in it too. On the other piece that I showed, there's serrations on it. So I try to do everything possible on this piece. Serrations, notches, thinness, needle, a very sharp pointy tip. I try to do all kinds of different stuff on this one to show you the potential. And I painted it as well to show you the potential of getting the color you want through painting. Now, does it rub off? Of course. You'll have to keep repairing it. But it doesn't take away from the sharpness of the edge as long as you put a thin coat. 2 thin coats, perfect. You want to spray them on? It's even better. You can do, spray effects on your arrowheads too. Yeah, blend in the colors. It'd be awesome. Just spray a white tip on yours or something. Yeah. Go to the range and use them, and someone's gonna say, "How in the world did you find stones that allow you to get white tips on all your arrowheads? How is that even possible?" And you just go, "I don't know. I must be lucky." Yeah, you're lucky you tuned into my channel to get the idea. Yeah, better tell them. Better tell them you saw it on YouTube. Don't be too sneaky. No one's gonna do that, so I'm not worried. Watch, someone will send me an email. "I did it and it works good. All my arrowheads now have white tips like I always wanted. It was a dream of mine for a long time." Yeah, mine too. Or the other way around. All the bases are a different color. Or you paint like bands of colors through the middle. You can start getting creative. Yeah. You can put like shark teeth. You make it a shark arrowhead and paint a shark mouth with an eye on it on both sides. Yeah. I got shark arrowheads. The potential is limitless. Okay, so what else am I going to do? See, if you want notches in your hunting point, there it is. Now, what's the weight? Some guys will say, "I'm not using it unless it's at least 100 grains. Well, you're not going to be able to use it then. Where's my... Oh, I don't have it. I don't have my scale. Hold on, let me think. No, I don't. It's in the car. It's with my shipping stuff. Oh no, my auction stuff, yeah. I would estimate that's around 40 grains. Yeah. It's lighter than stone. I have to admit that the floor tile is lighter than stone. Yeah. What else can I do to this? to make it look a little bit better. I don't know. I got this 1 hour exactly right now. I should be stopping the video. But I'm not going to. I'm going to continue. I'm going to try to make it look even better. Yeah. Because I know it's so awesome looking right now. But I can make it look better. I was watching my videos on a big screen at my dad's. Well, not my dad's. In the living room. I'm here already. I was watching it, and I'm happy with the new camera, phone camera. It looks really good. I was happy. Now, if I can get the narration to match the good quality of the video, that would be awesome. I goof around too much, I think. If I want to improve the quality, or how should I say this? If I want to improve the watchability for more of an audience, to get more people watching, I have to stop goofing around so much, or maybe even goof around more. I don't know. That's a possibility also, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. No, I am going to worry about the video quality, the sound quality and the visual quality, and try to get some footage outdoors. Yeah, the problem of doing it outdoors, that's been a problem for years. Because people will say, "What are you doing? What's going on?" Nothing. Doing a mosaic. What? Never mind, it's an inside joke. Okay? The only jokes around here are inside your own head. Yeah, I know. In other words, they don't exist. I know. Yep, I like it. Dum-de-dum. Little notches. Look at them little notches. They're so cute. Yeah, we don't want to have cute things on arrowheads, so I take that back. Nope. Arrowhead's supposed to be nasty and deadly. Nasty and deadly. Yep. I get asked all the time, do I think the arrowheads are for war or for hunting, or how can you tell which is which? Well, with me, I've had a long-standing opinion that most arrowheads that are fancy are for war, and if they're not fancy, they're for hunting. Of course, there are exceptions. You can have fancy hunting arrows with fancy hunting arrowheads, but I don't think it was all that common to have fancy hunting stuff. I think the fancy stuff is for war. Yeah. It has to do with luck. It has to do with, technology. You want the highest technology that you can when using the stuff for fighting. Just like we do nowadays. Okay? We use high tech for fighting. The highest tech possible for fighting. Same back in the day, even with stone weapons. The highest tech is used for fighting. Hunting, you don't really need projectile weapons for hunting. How is that? It's called trapping. Have you heard of it? No? Look it up. Trapping. Yeah. Catching animals in traps. You know, stuff that's illegal these days because it works really well. Yeah. Anything that works really well is usually illegal these days. Yeah. You're doing something that makes a lot of money really well, it's probably not legal. Yeah. You're catching animals and filling the freezer really fast, you're probably not doing it legally. That kind of thing, you know. Anything good is usually not legal. You know, it's a shame. Well, yeah, I am joking, yes. There are reasons for making sure people don't get out of hand, but still, you know. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's it. I did some notches in near the tip. Let's do some close-ups. Did I sharpen it? I did not sharpen it. Well, I did, but not in the way that I could have. Let's finish the pecking on the edge to do the sharpening, because I see some dull spots from the abrading earlier. Use a sharp tip pressure flaker. Get rid of the dull spots. And all you gotta do is just remove one flake from the dull spot and you know, symmetritize it at the same time if you can. If necessary, also. And you can put little bitty serrations in the edge with floor tile. You can get kind of elaborate if you want. So yeah, it has a good range of possibility. Is it better than glass? I mean, do I recommend it over using glass? No, I don't recommend it over using glass. Glass will get you further, but this is a good. It is a good alternative. I shall say that. It's a good alternative to glass. Why will glass get you where you want to go easier? It ends up being sharper. And if that's what you're after. Now, looks wise, you might not be able to get the color of glass that you want. So the fact that you can paint the floor tile will give you the color that you want, which can be an advantage for some people. That could be the game changer right there. I never thought of painting the arrowheads. It's a game changer. Yeah, there you go. I don't think I've discussed it much on my channel either. Was it done in the past? The first thing someone's going to ask in the email. You think people painted their arrowheads back in the day? I don't think I know, but it wasn't that common. How do I know? Well, we have Aztec examples. Where else have I seen it? I don't know. That might be it. We have Aztec examples on their ritual knives that were painted. I don't know about arrowheads. Okay, technically, the tips for arrows, I don't know if they were painted. I can't remember any specific examples. Anyway, so I got some mistakes on it, but that's all right. Why did I do this extra flaking on the edge here? Just to see what would happen. I am able to thin down the edge to make it sharper. There's still lumpy spots that I can remove. Floor tile does crush. It does get crushy, so be careful. You need to not linger too much because it will crush. You got to do the pop outs without too much lingering in that spot, because it will crush and you'll stall it. You'll stall out the edge and you won't be able to sharpen it. It'll just be dulled because you're trying too hard. You've got to make sure you get the pop outs right away. Same with the notching. You don't want a stalled bottom of the notch. So these are not stalled. All right, so that's the way I like to do it. And in the past it was done that way many times. They popped them out and they left them sharp on the inside of the notch. That's just the fastest way to do it. You pop it out and leave it sharp on the inside of the notch. You can dull the inside to prevent the wrapping from being cut. That's fine. It's up to you. But the fastest way to do it is just leave a pop out. All right. So there it is. Now, I would paint it black. Should I paint it on video or leave it? I don't know. I'll just leave it. I'll sell these two together in the auction. How's that? Yeah. Okay. Thumbnail. There you go. That's it.